Okay, so gonna do some Hisato dev today. I've got some to-do items. Bring up my Trello so I know what I'm looking at here. Um, uh, 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 there is so many things on this list, but I've got to write some descriptions in. This is something that mostly got done this morning, but I just need to fill in some text. These are a bunch of items that can be searched that are kind of randomly allocated to different people as they're coming up to the village. And I just need to put in some like nouns and phrases so that these things um, uh, would help if I could spell. Um, I've got a visitor coming in here. 1 second. Oh, you can find something to do, or I'll come check in with you later. Go ahead and shut my door. I'm going to do some streaming. I don't know yet. I'll check in with you in a bit. Yes, parenting never takes a day off. Okay, so I've got this item which I want to suggest. Yes, yes, exactly. And my wife's been taking some part-time. It's like, yeah, part-time work, I guess, trying out some work at a friend's business. So there's a few more questions I get to answer during the day when things come up. So are you familiar with my game project, Xage? I don't know if you have tuned into the dev streams before. No? Okay, so this is your first glance at it. Yeah, so the theme is you're this old dude um, dealing with a bunch of people showing up at a village. It's unusual, but it's like wartime. People are being displaced, and he's got to sort out who's okay to let into the village and who he wants to turn away and stuff like that. So this thing I'm working on right now is a random item selection. People can be carrying different things. Um, and I'm trying to not have things be too wordy. I wanted there to be this item that's like a book of dissident philosophies, where it might be implied narratively that this thing has anti-imperial or anti-emperor sentiments in it. I feel like this is kind of charged, but maybe I just want to call it a manifesto. Yes, I'm making up nouns of things. The items are defined, but I didn't fill in all the nouns. I think I'm going to rename this one and just call it manifesto, even though that's, yeah. So there's a section of these which originally we kind of referred to as contraband. They're not explicitly contraband anymore, but they're sort of items of intrigue that you have the chance to take them away from people before they enter into the village, or you can take them away and still not let them in, or any other combination of things. Um, and an ornate case. I suppose we could have done this differently, but that's okay. Silk. Silks. Maybe just silks. See, this is so wordy. I need ways to keep these things small. Silver bar. It's fine. And then we've got personal items, just kimono, a jade comb, a gold hairpin, a letter, a blanket, silver ring. Okay, let's just test that out. Let's see if the text lines up well and all that stuff. All right. So other details on this game. It's a 4-color Game Boy-esque kind of thing. I usually have the music turned down super low on this. I don't know if that's coming through the. I don't know if you can hear that on stream or not. Yeah. Okay. Just let me know if the audio is all right. I can turn it back down if it was fine before. Whoa, weird. I felt like that sound played too many times. Anyway, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Just get some. Just gonna search. Okay. Oh, there was another bug with this. Okay. Alright. Since I'm just gonna turn down the whole thing again. Alright. Okay, back to where it was. Alright, cool. So I'm just gonna permit everyone and do the searches. Find seeds. I'm just gonna let everybody in. Nope, no more people at the gate. Next day. Alright, so I guess I've got to go figure out this other bug real quick. The items for certain trade tools, which is the first list over here, is supposed to be allocated by job, and it is randomly selected right now. I don't actually know where this happens, but it's probably tools response, maybe when we generate an NPC. Generate random item of category. Okay, trade tools should just be of the current NPC job type. NPC item, weapon, that's everything before. Okay, let me see here. Okay, yeah. So instead of randomizing, we just need let's see where this is called. Trades tools. Item. Get brand item. Okay. NPC job is passed into there. All right. I'm just gonna do this in kind of a hacky way. Not everything will need this information. So we'll give it a default of like, yeah. We'll default to vagrant. I think that's like the lowest value. I could make a none, I guess. None equals -1. Invalid but existing job. That might break something, but we'll find out. Okay. So search, we go over here to search, we add this information right here, and then job becomes our index, right? Or we got to convert job, vagrant, monk, fisher. I think this will work. Vagrant is 0, thief is 8, and for the item depth, this is 0, and that's 8. So that should line up just fine. All right, it builds, that's good. Something's wrong in the boot sequence that is launching that boot sound too many times. Okay, that's a personal item, that's fine. Let them in, and it breaks. Okay, so jobs doesn't, oh. Get item name, the item, get search response. Okay, oh, because I put a default, everything is defaulting to job none. So everywhere that I call get this category, or random item of category, I have to make sure that if we're trying to get trade tools, that we pass in the job. All the rest of those don't care. Oh, I guess that's the new game sound. Okay. Search bowl. Yes, that's right. Okay. This kind of stranger we're not even supposed to have here yet. You find swords. Let's take the swords and refuse them. I don't even think we're supposed to have bandits at this stage of the game. And swords again. This seems weird. Okay, stuck in a loop. Time to log a bug. Too many bandits. Okay. I guess the bug is refusing bandit results in infinite bandits. Also, I think we should save bandits for after the appearance of the first bandit boss fight. Okay. Alright, what if we permit them? And do we get more? Okay. Guess we just need to look at the refuse logic just in case. Search. Why does he have swords? And he fights. I'm gonna skip the fight. I guess maybe swords are contraband? Search. That works. We'll let him in. The cup. That works. I guess the part that I've fixed works. A merchant offers bamboo for 8 food. No, I need my food. Search a bowl. Okay, I need better randomization. It's the same dudes over and over. All right, he's actually supposed to have swords. The Ronin is a dude who has swords for his actual job. I don't know why we keep encountering bandits. Search. Dry herbs. Okay. Well, at least that bug's working. This guy's supposed to have dry herbs. Be prepared to fight. Okay. Yes. Alright. Alright, that appears to be working in general. Aside from the problem of too many bandits. But as far as this card is concerned, I've written the proper things. I'm going to move that to the done pile. Day 1 cutscene. I need to add some text to this. There's a this scene right here where Hisato's coming up. I just need to put some text up there. So game mode GM first day cutscene. Okay. If Start frame. I guess I can do scene time times 0.75 or something like that. I should have it happen exactly on his last frame. So when his frame is 6, then this will pop up. Okay. And tooltip. Font tooltip. Let's see. Oh, I can make this constant. I don't need an object. I don't even know if that's the right task, but we'll see if this shows up. Render at the screen position. Eight. Ooh, hey Chad, how's it going? Did you have an excellent visit today? Strangers are approaching. All right, that goes way off screen. Oh, all right. You probably still got stuff going on. If you do have family time happening, enjoy family time. Okay, I wonder if I can get 2 lines in here and move this up. Oh, your brother's playing the game for the first time? Well, you know, if you felt like doing play-by-play and letting us know how that goes, that would be cool. Or you can take notes and let me know later. Either is fine. Ooh, trying to breathe water is less effective than trying to drink water. Note to self. Breathe air, drink water. Okay. We'll move this up 8 units and see if we can get 2 lines. Aha, that does work. That looks okay. That looks okay. Village stuff is not obvious. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Are is encounter stuff working differently better? Like, are people able to discern, or people, the brother, is he picking up on the little icons we put in there and stuff like that? I suppose it might take some time for him to test it out. Working okay. Seems just enough lack of information at first to cause thoughts, but not completely lost. Okay. Seems like a step in the right direction. Um, Compared to our previous round of testing. Okay. What was the... Okay. Day one cutscene. I put text on there. So that is technically done. I'm going to look at it one more time. Hisato comes up. Strangers are approaching the gate to be let in. So that feels also weird because Hisato is the one that we show walking up, but we're talking about strangers. What are our notes on this card? Show him approaching, show him message. Yeah, it just, there's like a small dissonance between showing Hisato approaching, but saying that strangers are approaching. Okay. That feels better for now. Hisato arrives seeing strangers at the gate. We can always update that later, but it's in there. It's in there. That's two things done already. Okay. Quips, I'm going to save. This is sort of a side thing, but I really want to work on this, on these tabs. So these tabs are an idea to show Hisato's inventory and the village inventory. Might make a general, like, just say info and have different tabs about what's going on in the yeah, what's going on in the village. It seems like that's still a conveyance issue, but the immediate things, like, we got these merchant events which come up and they offer you a trade, but since what's going on in the village or what resources are available isn't always obvious, I wanted to create some inventory screens. So it's going to be kind of like a menu. And it makes me think I could try to repurpose some of this, but I might just do it from scratch because it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be the most... Oop, no, I don't need a filter. I need a new item. New header file. Yeah, I guess this is where we have all our stuff. Okay. And this will be tabs. And we'll give ourselves some stuff here. And we'll declare a, I guess we'll forward declare some of these things as before. And then make a tabs class. It's going to be tabs because there's no meaningful concept to define an individual tab. It's just a collection of items. So anyway, we will make a structure called yeah, tab item, I guess. I could just call it tab, but visually it helps me separate it better if it's much longer than tabs. So an ID, string label, and then I guess enabled. Maybe I don't need an enabled concept for this. It's really just an ID and a label, at least to start with. Okay. Find item. We'll have a little function for that. And we'll do these same things. We don't need image selected. I don't think we're going to need a shadow. All right, we got to hop over to Photoshop to see how this loves seeing cards move. Oh yes, on Trello. I love seeing cards move too. Cards moving into the done pile is my favorite feeling. Okay, so we have 160 on screen. How many do we want to show at once? We can have 40, size 40 tabs and show up to 4 tabs at once. I'd like to make them finite. I really think we're only going to have 2 or 3 tops. $32 times 2. So, oh yeah, so we can get 5 if they're 32. Size 32. Let's see how big the menu items are. Data, menu items. We'll open all these up real quick. Probably could have put these on a sheet. Probably do that for the tabs, just to be clever. So I made one of these of 3 colors and a caret. And how big are these? They're 48. So at size 32, they're definitely going to be constrained on Yeah, we have a maximum 3 if we go 48 with the tabs. I gotta take a quick break, get some water. I'm gonna think about the size of tabs on screen, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I have decided we'll go ahead and make same size tabs as we have buttons, and we'll use kind of the similar color scheme here. Um, 16, 16 pixels. Okay. Okay, and we'll do. I guess we'll fill the whole space here. Yeah. And instead of having several images, we'll compile them all together. Okay. I don't know if I need any more than a regular one. I guess the menu items had shadows, but I don't really. I could anti-alias a bit or something, but it's not that. Not that big a deal. Yeah. I don't even know if I want that. Or maybe I can play it where we don't try to do curves. And we just have straight up diagonals. I might like that better. Nothing fancy. Okay. And I think I also want to put this bright stripe on the bottom. So that the highlighted tab looks like it's, yeah, going across all the other ones. And we'll just be limited to 3 within the space available. Or we could make it an outline where this one's outlined and the other one, yeah, just is not outlined. It has, yeah, it'll make sense when we get there. That might be all we need for tabs. I could also consider just making this not transparent. Okay, bitmap, tabs. Okay, so we only need one tabs image, and we don't need a selection caret or anything. We just need a list of tab items. And make a code file. Tabs. 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 Find item. All right. Close these things. We can probably steal the code from the menu. Oh, did I not steal it all? There we go. Items. Same code, searching ID, that's fine. We don't have any enabled and disabled for tabs, only a selected one. get selected ID needs to be in here. We are going to have I need to remember what this does. Selection equals, okay. Okay, when we move next. Okay, so this no longer needs to be a loop because tabs are never disabled. So we just play the sound effect and change our selection. That should work fine. Enable, disable, we don't need. We do need to add item and clear. And we do not need a do not show cost thing because that's irrelevant. Being enabled is irrelevant. Just a label. And it will get an ID automatically. We can stub this in over here. Add item. Yep, okay, so tab item, new tab dot ID equals VID, new tab dot label equals VLabel. Items. Wonder why. I guess it was maybe for some of this. I don't know why I didn't use my own array class for that, but whatever. Whatever. Add item. Okay. I'm under items. Here. And selection turns to 0. Okay. And then we need some kind of rendering function. And for menu, set menu images. I guess I need this function also. Except this is set tab item image, and there's just going to be one of those. Pixel processor and the image itself, and we'll be selecting frames based on whether a given tab is selected. Um, okay, so somewhere render, where's the render? Item font. Oh, interesting. Made the fonts variable in menu. That's fine. You're only going to need one font for this. So add a render function there. And it's going to drop back over this way. Close all the files we don't need at the moment. Okay. And the render function. We will move this over here so I can grab stuff from it. Palette data. Insertions. We only have two. For this, right? Oh, need to scope it now. It's the tabs render function. Okay. And then make sure somebody passed in something for the item font. Assert is undefined. Should be. Okay. Several other things there we need to include. And right before we go on too far down the path on rendering, I'm going to maybe it isn't FDEF here. Image name, icons, menu, image, tabs, image tabs. And then after the name of that image, and I'm going to make sure that we load it. Put it next to the other menu stuff. We don't need transparency, we just need to load image tabs. We have all the data that we need for that. Make sure it runs real quick. Okay, definitely loads the image in if it doesn't crash there. Science and technology. Thanks for joining DDM. How's your day going? A little bit of water. Okay, so that's done. The Hisato open. Render. Okay, int offset. Elder image p image 0. Don't need to do all that stuff. We do probably need this palette thing. We can still change this pointer, and any of the data that it points to will remain constant. Still need an offset. We only have one image. So we'll probably need like a frame render thing or something. We don't have to do all this enabled shenanigans, but we can set up the same kind of for loop. Set up menu item. This will be tab item. And we can determine if this is indeed the selection. And we'll increment that at the end when we're done. Okay. Alright. This has got a whole bunch of stuff we won't need for tabs because all we're doing is selecting a frame. A little distracted by many fires, but overall pretty well. Busy day at work, I take it. Lots of stuff happening that needs fixed. I have the luxury of only putting out fires I myself have created in this code base, for the most part. Okay. Let's see here real quick. Okay. So I need a couple of frames because render frame is going to take a rectangle that refers to how many patterns with how many tiles within the image it's going to render. So we'll make a couple of rect objects. Tab and cell tab. Tab will be width equals 4 tabs, height equals 1 tab, and this one will be left equals 0, top equals 1, width is the same, height is the same. I guess I could just have one rect and switch the top between 0 and 1, since that is all that is different. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll make this rect tab so it doesn't get confused with any other thing that is called a tab. Rect tab top equals is selection 1 0. 1 if it's is selection, 0 if it's not. And rect tab bx for, oh, yeah, x first, vy. Vy is going to be all the same, but for the x, we'll use offset plus 48. So that will render the proper background image. And then we have passed in an item font. And then we render it at screen position. Do we have one where we can just put in the... It's got to be a vec2 for whatever reason. Assume I was feeling clever in some way when I did that. And this will probably be wrong the first time I put it in, or misaligned, but we can adjust it after we test it. Okay, we can add several items, and we can render, and then we actually need a new game mode to go into. Game mode. And we will call this mode info. And yes, and we will create a game state function. Void VM info. It takes all the data. So many game modes now. We do. We have all the game modes. Okay. It's all geared up. It was just a wee little game last year. Alright, and I will go whatever. Over by pause and settings. And we will put this in here. And okay. We'll go over to Hisato. And main game state function here, case game mode info game info, all the data. Make sure that compiles. And that should be good. Then for all the states inside of which we can go to this state, which should probably be encounter state. At the very least, maybe GM merchant. Well, I guess this will be in the do command function. So it's not like a general purpose thing. I think I'm actually going to have a menu item for this, but we'll see. Yeah. Info. We can test it this way. Anyway, go to info state. So any menu we build with this command in it will send send that command, but then it will also have to Blue the Beast. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for joining. We're doing some game development today. Putting in a new game state in my game for reviewing information. Like inventory and such. So I'm going to go to the do command function and we'll pick a spot, I suppose. Command info. Set mode. Game mode info. Let me see here. Next mode. I wonder if this keeps track of previous mode. Oh, that's just, that should be like go to next mode. I'm going to rename that. What? Cancel. Rename. Go to next mode. And then guess these will both be on boot. Initially, read mode equals active. Do I actually use this? I do use it in a couple places. It's not exactly crucial that I use it. Because this is going to be confusing. And I don't know if it'll work. Whoa, okay. Okay. Game mode temp equals time, reset the mode time. Go to next mode. Previous mode. Yeah, so that one's just swapping them in the other direction. Yeah, these are not the same concepts. This bugs me. I think I'm going to replace references to this. GM Studio. I'm just going to go set mode. Game mode Studio 2. Does that come after Studio? It's the only place I use it. Alright, and then I can just get rid of wherever the mode data is. Get rid of this function. Comment it out, see if it compiles. It does. I only use it in that one instance, apparently. Let me just make sure I'm not breaking anything. Studio works fine. Goes to the next studio. Goes to... Oh, it goes to that one infinitely now. I did break it. That's why I was using next. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll just rewind a bit. And we'll rename this to a really obnoxiously long name. Next, sequential mode. Studio 1. Oh, settings and pause totally do that themselves. You may be able to convert them to previous mode stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if that's done manually in there. Cool. Okay, so I need to add a menu item so we can test out going to I'll just add this to the list so I don't forget. Checklist. Ba-doom. Okay. Settings. Previous mode. Logic. Okay. Make tabs display. Object. Add info command. Add info game state. Display all relevant pages when tabs are selected. Make the pages scroll with up down. Select tabs with left right. Okay. We'll just put that one on the bottom. I made a display object. I think I made these things, but we're about to test them. Okay. Time for some more water. Okay. I'm gonna move the neck around. Make sure, man, yeah, ergonomics are real. You gotta stretch sometimes. Let my spine breathe a little bit. Okay. What was I doing? Anybody know? We were gonna get in there. We're gonna add a menu item to the encounter menu. Okay, to title. Da, 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 da. When do we go to encounter? We get there from, well, there's a whole setup encounter thing. Okay. So we're just going to add it to the bottom. Menu item. Oh, did we encapsulate this as an encounter? Oh. I guess I thought there was going to be some other stuff there, I guess. Oh, it grabs the string command name, so yeah. It's just a minor cleanup thing. Okay, so it should take us to some kind of blank screen if this all works. Hisato is coming up here. And it says wait for some reason, probably because there is not a proper I'm going to put an ellipses to imply that it is going to another screen. Maybe we won't keep that if it's ugly. Here comes Hisato and info. There it is. We are successfully in info state, and it doesn't do anything, just like the code says. Okay. All right. So now we know we can get in. Do we have more than one menu, or do we just build the same menu over and over and over? Let's find out. Settings data, pause data. Oh, we can just create some info data. We'll go see where pause data is defined, and we'll create some info data. Game mode. Oh yes, I see where these track the previous mode now. Yeah, I'm going to save that. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Menu. And I suppose here we can also, well, we're going to have access to all the data. We can figure out, I guess. I guess we need the tabs here too. I guess tabs is what we need, not menu. Maybe. Yeah, because I can just, since we're using escape right now, escape can be the, we need to eventually convert these things to controller concepts. Buttons like have the start button always go to the pause menu. have the select button. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, feeling like we need to convert what our concepts are for the buttons sometime soonish. Info data. Let's see where we fill out pause data. Do we fill it out every time we're going to the... Every time we hit escape, we fill this out. Okay. If it ain't broke. All right. vdata, info, tabs, clear. vdata, info, tabs, add item. Command ID. Just ID. Not even command ID, just ID. Okay. So, info data, tab, content. Tab content is tag. Class enum tab content. I don't know how that works these days. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. Tab content. Inventory. Storage. This can be Hisato's confiscated items. I guess we call it seized items. Village. Resources. And, we'll have room for one more if there is one more there. But yeah, we'll probably just have these two for now. Info data, tab content, inventory, data, tab content, storage. No, this needs to be two separate lines. Inventory, items, storage. Just call this items. Okay. Set mode info. So we're building tabs, setting the mode, and then we go to the game state of info, and we render at data fonts, font menu, I guess, same as menu. And this one, 0, 0. Just put it at the top of the screen. Text? What is this wanting? Render text. Yeah. 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 How do we use this elsewhere? Menu. Menu render. Oh, I see. We're just grabbing the address of it, right? Oh no, the address of this thing. Okay. All right. Yay, coding. All right, we're going to see if that displays anything. Boop, doop, boop, doo. Here comes Hisato. And crash. Aha. All right, we need to set up some more code stuff. Okay. Menu. AD. Info. Tabs. Set the pixel processor and images tabs. There we go. Gotta initialize that data one time. Here comes Hisato. Seeing strangers at the gate. Yay! Okay, that doesn't look right, but it's rendering something. Okay, let's see here. Is selection true? Right tab, left, top, width, height. These are the same position. Yeah, should be fine. Render frame right equals left plus width minus 1 should be 3. 1. Render frame. Yep, that's fine. Should be false this time. 0. Okay. Offset is 1. Wide is the same. Something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 6 wide. Let's try it with 6. See if that renders properly. Okay. That renders tab number 2 properly. Why is tab number 1 invisible? Should it be 1, 2 and 1? Like, is it not 0 based? Top? I feel like it should be 0 based. The only difference is the top. And the top is there. So it is using these wrongly. What happens? I don't understand this, but what happens if we do like so? 2 and 1. Whew. It explodes. That is actually good. Should explode because there is no second row. Come on now. Put a breakpoint right there. Oh, I didn't continue. I don't need that. I need a breakpoint. Tabs. Okay. Should be false. Okay. Okay. I don't actually use these palettes yet. It might be something weird. But I could also disable the text just to yeah, I guess see if I can get away with a little edit and continue. Yeah, it doesn't seem to left 0, right 5, okay, top 1, bottom 1. That's actually also correct. The top and the bottom could be the same row. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what the heck? It's on screen. Debug variables. Hmm. I knew what all this meant at one time. Deep into the bowels of the renderer. That all appears to be working correctly, except that it's not here. Losing all of that stuff. Why is there no tab there? Let's put another wrinkle in here. is how we're checking input elsewhere. Doing something. No, it's just input. Input. Left. And data info. Tabs. Previous. Else if the right arrow, data info tabs. Next. Fast forwarding. Interesting. It looks like it's rendering on top of itself. This suggests that it is simple typo offset plus 48. This is offset times 48. Okay. Now we should see them both. Yes. That's much better. Tabs, y'all. Okay. Now let's... I don't even know. We'll see if we can get the fonts to render. It'll be the same font color currently, but we can modify that after the fact. Oops. Info. I'm not setting the text, and that looks wrong. Item font. Font menu. Oh, this is doing the same thing here. Okay. Let's see. Same problem as the tabs. Let's see what we got. Okay. The item font. Set text. And we get this from item. Label. Right? Label. C. That should work. Weird. Oh, it's on center. On center. Plus 24. Vx plus offset times 48 plus 24. So it should be centered in the tab. V item font set custom palette is selection. How text, how dim. Const unsigned character. Yeah, I don't want this selection. Custom palette. Oh, I need to cast the whole thing. Palette. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we should have palettes looking the right color. Should be centered in the tab, but we don't know. Something else was feeling funky, so we should see. Items, storage. Yes. Okay, so I need to move it up by 1 and left by 2, because, or left by 4, maybe? The storage kind of fits, just because this edge is angled there. It feels weird. So up by 1 and left by 2. Let's just see what that yields. New game. Okay. So now I don't like the line that goes around the highlighted tab. So we are simply going to remove it, go back to just you can put this line there. That seems like it'll be fine. Okay. There we go. Probably going to take off that line on the other one too, and just not try and be clever with the pixels. There, just those two. That'll be fine. And then tabs are now rendering fine. Then we are going to fill a rectangle with the lightest color here. Redirect. That's it. page left 0 page top equals 8 page this is capitalized top equals 8 width equals 60 page height equals whatever 144 minus 8 or 36 and equals sign right there. Assignment operator, and we'll see what it looks like with a page there. Here we go. Page background. That's fine. Yay, tabs. Okay. Whew. We coming up on 2 hours already on the stream. That flew by. I got a few minutes before the hour. But I think I'm just gonna take a quick food break. Get myself some game developer fuel in my belly. And yeah, so it'll be 5 or 10 minutes. I'll be back shortly, and then we will do the fix for settings and pause menu to where it uses the new previous state system that I just put in for this. And and we'll get that working for this state, where if I hit escape, it will go back to encounter. Same for the other modes. And then we'll start populating these pages. We'll access data for items, storage, etc. And see what happens, I guess. Yeah, my brain's spinning with all kinds of ideas. But yeah, gonna take a break real quick. We'll be back soon. Thanks for hanging tight in here, guys. See you in a bit. And we're back. Game developer fuel has been obtained. It's kind of a deluxe salad. Something not too time consuming to prepare. And yeah, quite tasty. Alright, so we got tabs. Salads need more eggs. Yes, they do. I only put one egg in my salad. Next time, see if I can get a second one in there. We shall see. Okay. So we're gonna do a little code conforming stuff real quick because we added a feature that makes part of the pause data and the settings data irrelevant. So we're going to create some errors and settings. Yeah. So we don't need to set that. We don't need to set that. Don't need to set that. Instead of pause previous mode, we just now can call go to previous mode. Don't need that. Start. Okay. Okay. Set mode. Go to previous mode. And go to previous mode. Now, we'll test it, see if we broke it. Errors are how you know your compiler is working. They're also a way that the error list is an instant checklist if I'm refactoring. All I can do is I do this all the time. I just comment something out. I look at the list of what breaks, and if it's a short list, then that's my to-do list. I just click through them. Super easy. Only 7 errors. Errors are how you know your code is working. There you go. Yeah. If I code all day and it just compiles and runs, it means there are bugs. Yeah, this guy is a veteran, in case anyone's wondering. He knows what he's talking about. VDM is code. Back. Okay. Quit. The quit button works. I too get worried sometimes if everything compiles properly. Alright. Okay. There's no input in this state. Okay. Escape. Settings. We can go back. Resume. Resume is broken. If I hit escape, does it go back? No, it's just still here. Settings. Back. Oh. Yeah. Because these are nested, I can't do what I was about to do. Those need their own thing because they're nested. If I implement a whole queue or list or stack, I guess a stack of game modes, then I can do what I was about to do. So, yeah. Well, anyway, we did select tabs with left, right. This one I'm deleting because you can't do it. Display relevant pages when tabs are selected is the next task. So we're going to go to GM info and I suppose we're also going to put in our thing to check the escape key. And data modes go to previous mode. So we'll put that in real quick just to make sure that works here as intended for this particular application, speeding through the intro. Yay! Okay. Oh yeah, and this works properly now. Yes. Okay. Cool. How many items does it take to make a true RPG menu? I think I can get this down to the bottom of the screen in the corner. I have like 10 menu items before this game ships. We shall see. We shall see. All right. What were we doing? We were doing pages of content. All right. Make a little switch statement here. And we have an info. We have tabs. We have get selected ID. And these cases are going to be info data, tab content, items. Or storage. And God forbid we have a magical default value that crops up somewhere. But we'll go ahead and put a default there. Okay. So, for the items, I guess I just realized that we can also have like a village, like population tab if we want one. Why not? Let's make more work for ourselves. And then when we're building the menu, which is in the do command function, when we choose info, make the village item. Stats. Okay. And let's see. in each of these cases, we're going to have a label and a number. So, seems like we could build some kind of display thing where we could have a generic list display object and use it to put together, yeah, just like a label and number list display thing, and use it on all the tabs, because items are going to have labels and numbers. Storage, which is going to be all like the produce, survival resources, is going to have labels and numbers, and the village is going to have job types and numbers. I suppose if I made both parts of it, like key and value, both were strings, then they could be numbers. If I wanted them to be numbers, they could be, they could show other things like in the village stats, like the mood, which is a, string data, the mood of the villagers. And yeah, just kind of thinking ahead. Okay. I'm thinking I'll call this KV list, key value list, and do it kind of the same way as these other things. Except we really don't need any graphics for this. Only, and we don't need any selection for this, but we do need an offset for display purposes. We don't need a, yeah, we don't, okay. Still plays sound effects, I guess. Or maybe not. We can put that, I guess we leave them there for the moment. Instead of the selection, the M under offset will be just, I guess it's the same kind of value. I guess it needs to be constrained. You know what? Let's not add any offset in there until we know what we're dealing with. Build it as we go. So this is KV list item. And there's not going to be any ID value. Because we're not retrieving any of these things. We're just building it and displaying it. We have a list of them. And, where am I scrolling? Okay. New item, KV list. Whoop. Okay. List. Set tab. Okay, we don't need this function because there's no image, and the render takes a font. And we can do something fun like alternating background bars of color, or nothing at all. I don't know. You can figure that out as we go. Okay. So we need functions for all these things. And we need a function for this thing. And all of these are KV list scope. Okay. This menu item over here. This one is just clear because we don't have a selection. Items still items clear. KV list. Oh, KV list. Okay. Copy paste errors are fine. Add item. Okay, add item in this case will be key and value. Key and value. KV list item. New item. New item key equals v key. New item value equals value. And we add it to the list. And find item should be identical. We need to remove items really because we're just clearing and adding. We're not modifying on the fly. Find item should be the same. Oh, we don't need to find item because again, for this one, we're not retrieving values or modifying list after it's created. Mr. Toffner, hey there. Welcome to the stream. Doing a little game development today. The game I'm working on is called Hisato no Saku, and it is a Game Boy-like kind of light RPG, except instead of building a character, you're building a kind of prosperous village. At least that's the goal. The most of the game is let's see, it's on itch.io. There's a page for it. I'll just bring that up rather than explain it all myself. Here we go. I'll drop this in the chat in case you want to look at it. That has the blurb and a little video and whatever. You can check that out to see what it's about. It's basically about deciding who gets into the village and who doesn't. It's a time of war, so you never know who's coming up to the village wanting to get in. People are displaced. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. So that's what we're building. And right now we're working on some info screens for checking inventory of confiscated items, resources that the village has, the village population, stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm building a container class called KV list, which I'm going to use to build lists of items to display on these info screens. Part of this is because the player doesn't have enough information about what's going on in the village in our testing so far, so it's kind of this vaporous, like, I don't know the consequences of my actions kind of thing. And most of the game is, like, the game design, the concept is based on the actions having interesting consequences. So if the player doesn't know what effects these things are having, it's hard to convey that. So, and there's some choices that are straight up, like, impossible to make well, if you don't know what kind of resources are in the village. Like sometimes merchants will come up and like propose a trade. Like they're the only NPCs who aren't trying to get into the village. They just want to trade some goods. And at some point, during some testing last week, it was like somebody's like, "Oh, I'd really like to know what the inventory is before I say yes or no to the merchant." Like that makes sense. So we're making info screens so that the player can access this stuff. It's pretty much like, like normally what would be your character stats, but we're giving you village stats and, collected items and stuff. Yeah. So, about to write a render function. And okay, so we don't need to draw images in this one, but we will make sure the item font is valid. We don't have selected items in this list, so there's no need to have different palettes. Int, I guess we'll call this offset for each vertical item. No need for a rectangle, so we can just jump straight into the list. For KV list item, go through the whole list of items, and the item font, set text. I guess we're going to do this twice for each entry, and it'll be the key item on the left, left aligned, the value item on the right, right aligned, and that's fine. So key, we'll set the text. We will set alignment left. We will render at a position defined as Vx. I guess that will always be Vx, and then Vy will be offset times 10. We'll leave a little gap between lines. I think this font that I'm going to use is an 8 pixel font, so if I do, let's just do 8. Why not? Need one more parenthesis there. Why are all these things? Oh, I have not included all this stuff. Okay, I don't actually need pixel processor in here, but still need word processor. Text alignment. Left text align left. Is that what I need? Does this need to be scoped in? What namespace is this in? Render. Okay, there we go. Maybe I can do using namespace elder render. I don't have to scope that in. Looks really cool. The premise reminds me somewhat of Papers, Please. I've heard that a bunch. I'm sort of excited about. I wasn't thinking about that game at all when I made this, but I like the association with it. Just because it's a fun premise. I guess that one focuses on the politics and ethics of the choice making, and it has a personal narrative, and it's such a cool game too. I've told this story a couple times, but I'm very fond of Papers, Please, because the one year I went to Game Developers Conference was the year that Lucas Pope won all the awards for Papers, Please, and I chatted with him a few times. He's a pretty cool dude, very casual person, easygoing, I would say. And then I got the game when I went home from the conference and was just like, how did one person do this? And I think part of the value of his game designs is he starts with something that's just really simple and straightforward in concept. Hey, Crowbar. Well, hello. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. We're doing some game development today. I am coding in C++. I just gave a whole spiel to Mr. Toffner about what the game is. And I'll repaste the link in case you can't see it, but this is the itch page for the game I'm working on. Yeah, I am doing well. I have the streamer nerves from doing something technical while on camera, but other than that, I'm doing great. Um, and yeah, right now I'm working on info pages, just like stats screens, so the player can see what's going on. We were also chatting about Papers, Please, because there's a little bit of a thematic overlap here. We're deciding who gets into a particular village during a time of war. Um, let's see, this is VX. You know what? I feel like instead of X and Y, this should be V margin and V top, and that's it. So this is going to be V margin on this one, and this one is going to be 160 minus V margin for the one that is on the right side, and this is going to be V top. V top plus the sum of offset times 8. So, are there other developers you know of that are fun to watch? I don't catch enough dev streams, to be honest. There's only like a few pixel artists that I know of that also do game development. But yeah, if you know of some good ones, let me know. Increpare. I know this name. I know this name. I feel like I should make note of it. Maybe we could just look him up. Just look him up. Why not? Search. Is it this one? Do they not use a? Do they not have a logo? Lunar Ray Game streams regularly. The Time Spinner guy. That's right. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna straight up follow Increpare here. Lunar Ray Games. Time Spinner. Boop. I'm gonna give that one a follow too. Awesome. He builds hundreds of games as far as I remember. That's cool. Cool. All right. Yeah, yeah, the only ones that I've watched thus far, I like collected a handful of pixel art streams at some point. Some of them also do some coding, some game maker stuff or other things like that. I also feel like my camera is off center if I'm just relaxed. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe my scene is off center itself. No, I think it's right. I don't know. 178 games between 2008 and 2014, which is just insane. Yeah. I can count on one hand the number of shipped games with my name on it. That is a lot of shipping. Yeah, I should make smaller games so that I too can ship. I made one ever. You made one ever. Was it fun? And that was the end of that. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Was it a fun game though? Like, did you have fun playing it when it was made? I won't ask you if you had fun making it. I loved it, to be fair. Fun color match puzzle game. Okay, cool. Some kind of like match 3 kind of a deal or similar. Those are fun. Puzzle games. And that's good, like basic programming stuff. Basic in the sense that it lets you wrestle with all the other crazy things about actually making a finished game. Problem solving is the best. You could also be the guy who did Flappy Bird. One game shipped. Honestly, if I had made Flappy Bird, I would probably chill. Okay. So we have a thing that theoretically renders 2 items per line, one left aligned, one right aligned, and we have coordinates for the left one that are whatever the margin is from the left, and whatever coordinate we give it for the top, plus 8 pixels down for every item, as long as we also increment at the end of each iteration. Okay. And I think that's all we need for this. And then we're going to hop over to GM info state. And I guess we need to build our lists. I guess I need 3 lists. 3 lists. We could build all the lists before we go into this state, and then just switch which one we're rendering when we flip through the tabs. So before I hook this up, I'll just kind of show you guys who just joined what we're what we're working on here. Hisato no Saku is our game. No dark theme on VS, you monster. Yes. I spent a lot of time, and by which I mean the better part of 10 years in my basement coding, and the combined darkness of basement and dark themes on all the modern applications eventually started to erode my soul. So I became a monster and went back to light themes. I was looking for ways to make custom colors. I I experimented with like the blue theme, and you can get a little bit of customization with their high contrast themes because that's like an accessibility feature where they let you define stuff. But like, I could not figure out how to customize the thing properly, so I just went back to light theme. Whatever, don't care. Speaking of darkness, I haven't turned on my streamer light. Boop. Let's have a little more light in here. Why not? Okay, new game. I'm gonna fly through the intro real quick here. Hisato is walking up to the gate. Ba-ba-da-ba. Alright, and then people are at the gate. So, info. I added this menu item today, and it goes to this tab view here. And I'm going to print some info on these tabs. So I just made the tab set up where it displays these three things, but there's no, there's no info set up for these yet. Yeah. So we're going to populate these pages. That's what we're working on. There's going to be items. This is stuff that Hisato has seized from strangers at the gate over the course of the game. I suppose if there are no items that Hisato has seized, I should put something in there for that also. Storage is resources that the village has accumulated, food and other things. And then the village is going to be like a population breakdown, so you can see how many farmers and fishermen and whoever else you've let in. You start with a certain amount of villagers, so some of them will be originals, but all sorts of other people get let in as you go. So yeah, this game has nothing to do with papers, please, in the sense of there are no papers, but it is a thing where there's no, because war is on, there's no real municipal support for anyone. It's just a bunch of stuff going on in the countryside, people fighting each other. And certain villages have been displaced and so forth. But there's also bandits and thieves and stuff running around. No, not all in the same tab. This mostly has to do with resolution and how big the letters are. And I don't want you to be like scrolling for days, once there's a ton of stuff. Yeah, that's the main thing. And being able to, quickly get to the info you want is kind of the relevant thing there. Game Boy resolution is super small. It's 160 by 144, so that's 144p on the modern resolution lingo. Super small. So yeah, you'll kind of see it when it gets rendered up here. I got to build some lists though. So I need to go to the do command function and look for the spot where we are processing the commands to go to the info state. What the heck? Something's wonky. Okay, it like wasn't letting me press enter. What's going on? Okay. Go to info mode. Okay, here we will populate info lists. And I don't want to do all this right here. So I'm just going to make a function. Populate info lists. All the data. The data. And then we'll go way down to the bottom and implement it. Okay. vdata, we also have to pop over to wherever we define this stuff. Info data. Okay, so we need kv list one for items. We need a kv list for storage, and we need a kv list for the village. Okay, so we have those three lists now. It's undefined, so we have to include our kv list declarations. So those are defined. Populate. I just defined that. Oh, it's not spelled the same. Okay, whatever. You can capitalize the L. Okay. Info. Starting with items. Okay. So I gotta figure out where we store the items that that Hisato has confiscated, because I don't actually know where that is. Merchant data, villager, summary data, basic count. Those are just counters. Story data, mode data. Okay, maybe it's in the village. Let's see. Food store, production days remaining, total products made, received product, food stolen, villager murdered. Okay, so that's mostly food. Does it keep a list of that stuff, or is it just generic food? Maybe I won't fill everything out today. We'll just get one of these tabs working if I can find out what data, settings data, pause data, merchant data, turn data. See, it's story data. It's story generator and text stuff. Village def. Maybe, we'll turn this into a to-do item by saying items go here later. We'll just see. We'll just put in some temporary text for these three lists. Items, storage, and village. Produce goes here, and people go here. So that's storage and village. Okay, populate info lists. Yep, we did it. We populated it. Hey, Francis. Just, do I plan to still work with Quake? Yeah, I'm actually working on Quake stuff all the time in bits and pieces. Um, I don't know if I share it with you explicitly, but I did also announce the uh, id1 limits map jam for the 25th anniversary um, of Quake. It's got a long deadline, so a lot of people will be working on id1 limits maps for that jam over the next couple months. That'll come out this summer. Um, so there's some stuff for that I'm working on, some other things. I'll do this later comment is probably one of the scariest comments to find other than dirty fix do not use. Yeah, sometimes I just write / hacksaws. This is bad. Yeah. But, those sorts of comments almost always survive to the end of a product if they don't get hit by testers. Um, oh, I have to actually display these lists. So we have to go to info, GM info, and then we have to see if the rendering actually works. Vdata info, items, items, render, and we'll give it the menu font with a margin of 4 and a top of 8, I guess. And we'll do the same thing, but we'll do this one with storage and this one with village. And there will be no scrolling or anything needed yet because some quick themed doom today. Oh, on your stream? Hisato's walking up. And info. Wow, okay. This is both working and not working at all of a sudden. Oh, right. Right. Hmm. I need to not use the menu font for this, because that menu font is being used by the tabs and overwriting stuff, and that is no good. We'll use a different font, and maybe it will be fine. Alright, blasting through the intro. Okay. Okay, and because, yeah. So this needs to be 16 because while most rendering is from the top left corner of stuff for some reason, because it's text, it's the bottom left corner of text stuff. So that was easier to write the, yeah. Yep. Cool. Seeing strangers at the gate. Here we go. Info. Items go here later. Produce goes here later. Do. Alright, so I'm going to add a couple more items to this list for each one to make sure that like multi-line rendering is working. And because I made a thing for it, we'll just say stuff 0. we'll say veggies 0, and we'll add some fish in there too, just for fun. People go here. Peeps, dudes, fam. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and we gotta make sure they're going onto the right lists. Village. We'll test this another time. Getting some list rendering happening. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I need to change the color of this font. The line spacing is fine for now. Okay. I also need, when I'm going into the, I should just make a new font so that I don't mess up other people's font stuff. Okay. Fonts, font map count. Tabs are okay for the menu because that stuff gets refreshed. We'll make a special font just for lists. And I gotta see where I fill this stuff out. Right here, load font. Font menu name. Okay. Font list name. We'll just make it the same one. And we'll say font list. Font list name. We'll just load in another copy of that. Should be fine. And then when we're rendering in GM info, we can pass in font list. That looks good. And we'll just check that to make sure it doesn't conflict with anything else. Okay. That didn't work at all. What did I miss? Probably some initialization data. Okay. Initialize. Okay. Is this all I do for fonts? Should work. List. Hmm. Let's clean and rebuild real quick. That's probably not the issue, but I have that feeling where something is wonky. Yeah, this code is All the engine is hand coded. C++. It's a engine I spent several years working on that renders like Nintendo, basically. It's a 256 color engine, but I'm just using it with only 4 colors in this case. And there's a bunch of extra stuff stripped out of it. But anyway, yeah, there's a couple of pieces of code that I didn't write, but they're also like freely licensable stuff. There's I think it's just the audio code right now that is not mine. There's an audio library called Mini Audio, and it's just one header file, and it gives you like cross-platform support through any major like interface that you want to use for playing back audio. Super small. The yeah, I just wanted there to be no libraries I had to ship with the game. And the cool thing is, not that this really matters, but a release build of the game is less than 450 kilobytes for everything that it needs. Yeah, it's cool. Like, staying on topic is great, but I never really get offended by off-topic chatter. So, yeah, no worries, man. It just helps other people, you know, I guess enjoy the stream if we're all talking about the same thing. Okay, so yeah, teeny tiny executable, and let's see, the data folder right now, if I look at one of these builds, the data folder is 10 megs, most of which is just the audio data, because it's in OGG format. So, there'll be I think most of the songs are in there. There'll be a few more small, like WAV files or OGG files for sound effects. Maybe a couple more images. But I like keeping my build tiny. It's just fun. Because especially when you download like a Unity game that's supposed to look like a Game Boy game, and it's like 2 gigs of data for no reason. Just like, why? It's not that much information here. You know? So, and a gig of that is the shader from the asset store. Yep. Yeah. So I like to keep things small. I like to think that, when this goes up on Steam and itch or whatever, people will click the install button or the download button and just be like, boop, got it. Smaller than your average email. Or whatever, like smaller than a tweet with an embedded video in it or something. Import everything I might even slightly think of using and then wonder why everything's bulked out at the end. Yeah, it's invited by the tools because, and it's not, it's not like evil bad. It's just the way that tools are made. People want a lot of visual interfaces, and it takes a lot of black magic on the back ends to make that work. And people still make awesome Unity games, so like whatever. I paid like 6 figures with for tuition and like apartment rent to go to college out of state to learn video games. And so, as a point of pride, I'm like, I know how to make things very small and run well. So I'm just gonna. I just paid off that debt like a month or so ago, by the way. Only took me 13 and a half years. I'm very excited. But now also it allows me to like, I can take my time. I don't have to rush, you know. My second mortgage is gone. We can take it easy now. Um, hmm. Again, congrats on killing that debt. Thank you very much, DDM. I appreciate the congrats. I still feel like I'm in sort of perpetual, or at least intermittent, celebration of the paying off of student debt. Crowbar. My degree was in video game development. I did that like 7 years ago. I work in finance now. Ah, well, it's a good thing you play Quake. So you're not totally out of my circles. And were you also maybe getting into a little Quake mapping? I don't remember if you said you were picking that up. I think you did, though. Which I'm excited about, by the way. Always fun to see new content from new people. Sweet! Quake mapping as we speak. By the way, my current map jam is, which is the id1 limits jam, is potentially very beginner friendly, and it's several months away when submissions open and when the deadline is. So there's like lots of time to do something for that. If you are at all interested, being in community jams was super motivating to me when I got started. Asking questions in the mapping Discord. That's threshold number 1. That's okay. Feeling like an idiot is threshold number 2. So you're taking the appropriate steps. Those the exact sequence that I went in. Only when I started, the Quake Mapping Discord doesn't exist, and I had to ask questions in this other channel on a server called TerraFusion, which is way more off-topic and slightly less friendly and inviting, even though a good selection of the same people are in it. So it was like extra nervous. At least Quake Mapping is specifically for asking all the newbie questions, especially if you ask in the I need help mapping channel or whatever it's called. But yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, same. Bal was the first person to field my questions as a beginner. He's very, responsive when there's, new people showing up. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, like he happens to be on at the same times, but I remember getting responses from Bal, and I had literally just been playing some Bal maps, and I was like, welcome to the real horrors of Quake. Yes. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. I'm going to shut this down and step through the font loading for the name here. Okay. Eric's. That's the font that I wanted. Result. Okay. Result is okay. We inserted that. Initialize. Okay, that's fine. The image store is there. Pixel processor is there. We're going to set up a font map. Font map is there. Man, I wrote some of this code so long ago. Don't even remember what it is. Okay. Oh. Now I'm wondering if this font is rendering, but it's the same as the background color. Because that would be funny. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. There is extra font initialization for some of these things. So we'll just go here and we'll say, oh, we'll go here, AD, which stands for all the data, fonts, font, font what? Tabs? No, font list. Pal custom equals what? Do I have a custom font? Um, unsigned character. Right, whatever. Const unsigned character for. Just make a ridiculous local, whatever. It's the main function, so it'll still be there. Text dim, or here we have custom ones made already, so we don't need to create one. Text black. Just make it is not assignable. Yeah, it's assignable. Elder byte. Field. Is that right? Byte pointer. Elder byte pointer. Okay, can you pass color? Oh, also thanks for letting me know about the jam. I guess depending on if this map is absolutely awful or not, I might give it a go. You know, awful's relative, and also I'm not gonna reject it based on awfulness. If you can move through it and there's an exit, then it can go in the jam. Can you pass a color parameter just to force it to white or something for debugging? Yes. That's essentially what I'm doing here. I've got a group of 4 colors defined in this text BLK object, and I feel confused for some reason. Byte. Data type confusion because my brain is starting to break down here. Okay, let's go back to just this. Pal custom. Array type 4 is not assignable. What if do I memcopy it? Maybe I'll just memcopy it. I'm feeling like there's a set custom palette on the processor. Set custom palette text black. Okay. And elder palette pointer. Does that work? Oh, I do it up here. I just need to follow the same. Give it the address. Palette pointer. That's enough. Okay, there we go. Everything seems to be loading fine. Let's see if we can see our text now. Yay! Alright. The fact that it matches the color on the tab weirds me out. So we'll go with, instead of text black, we'll go text dim. Have that second darkest color. And we'll run it again just to have a look, and then I also might change the actual font. That's not the right color. Dim. Is it dark? Is that one? What are the names of these things? Color list, text palette, dim, black. Okay, yeah. I need to make a new one called dark. And we use this second value. Oh, okay, that's fine. They all have black as the background color or whatever. Okay, okay. And then go back here and make sure everything compiles. And then we blast through the intro one more time. Seeing strangers at the gate info. Okay. That also feels weird. Okay. Let's change the font. Where does that? Where does? Font list name. All right. Story small. Arial bold 8. Arial 8 bold. Let's see how that works. Gotta get this looking pretty. Soon night falls. 10 villagers, peaceful. This project is a little over a year old. I started as kind of a quick game jam idea, and then I wanted to expand it. And since about, let's see, about a year ago, a friend of mine was like, hey, I might want to help work on that. And I think it was around August or so that we started to like set a good rhythm for like moving it forward. Whoa, that is thick font, so I need to set tracking on this. I think I might actually like that look, but I need to put some space between the letters, you know. And then I also want to set the top further down. Let's go 24. Give a little space underneath the tabs. Wow. And items go here later. Stuff. Okay. Then we also need to change this to be constituent the spacing equals v item font get max glyph height plus 2. And then we'll, instead of hard coding spacing, we'll see how that does. Not 100% sure if this font is correct, but I kind of like the boldness at the moment. Feels kind of good. Yeah, there we go. Info tabs. We can fill out the info later. That feels like an accomplishment. Checking the Trello. Tabs. Display relevant pages, make pages. Okay, those things are technically still not done. I guess display the relevant lists. I will say lists because that is technically done. I will add an item that says populate lists with real game data. Okay. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a good stopping point. That's a good sprint for today. Getting game dev stuff done. Just not the most glamorous of work creating info pages. I guess since we were chatting about it, Crowbar, if you're still here, Quake Mapping Discord does have a channel for the id1 limits jam. But there's also a thread on Funk Message Board if you're, if that's your jam, where you can check out the details for that in case you want to get in on it. Basically, the id1 limits are just really small maps with a really low visible surface limit. Those are the main things. It's in the spirit of high performance DOS runnable maps, stuff that'll work in the original engine, which means that there's no non-vanilla features. There's a few things that compilers can do now, which are still, like especially the lighting processing. I put a few guidelines that are like, these features are not really in the spirit of the jam, but you can use them if you want, because they will run in DOSQuake, stuff like that. But the basic thing is like not highly detailed stuff because you don't want to break the surface limit, which means even the really, like polished veteran mappers are going to have to simplify their usual approach in order to stay under these limits. I feel like that should be newbie approachable just because all the maps are going to be a little simpler than they might normally be. No huge rooms with amazing architecture because the view distance is problematic for keeping under that surface count. That's the basic thing. There's a whole lot of people obsessing about the technical constraints, which is really fun to see from just like a nerdy point of view. But on a basic sense, you can just put together a simple map. If you just think about the layout and the progression, and that's about it. I'm hoping for some mappers that it will be liberating, that it can be a gameplay focused jam. But we'll find out. Got several months to work on that stuff. So yeah, and you can always hit me up if you have questions as well. You can message me directly on Discord or whatever if you want to chat about that stuff or share things, ask questions outside of the public scene of Discord servers and whatnot. And I imagine there's a couple other guys that would be willing to take questions if you're feeling nervous about asking them or whatever. Yeah, it's a pretty chummy community. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream for today. Maybe get some dinner. It's Tuesday, right? I don't even know. I had a meeting this morning for contract work, so it has to be Tuesday. That's pretty much my only major time synchronization point in the week when I'm at the computer. This Tuesday is meeting day. Anyway, for whoever's still here, thanks for hanging out. We got some stuff done. And yeah, might get back to some playing some NES games. I got a whole other stream set up for my NES games experience playing some Nintendos. It's good times. All right, have a good one, man. We'll catch you later. And yeah, I'm out.